It was just after 10 in the morning when Raymond Carter pulled into the rest area off I-94, about 40 miles west of Lansing. He was behind the wheel of his black Lincoln Continental, dressed sharp in a slate gray suit and a sky blue shirt. You'd think he was headed to a corporate boardroom, which, funny enough, wasn't far from the truth. He was on his way to a justice reform roundtable with the governor. The man had served as a district court judge for over 20 years. Fair, level-headed, respected. But to Officer Jeffers, pulling up behind him with lights flashing, all he saw was a black man alone in an expensive car. Raymond kept calm, rolled his window down, both hands visible on the wheel. "Good morning, officer. Is everything all right?" he asked, smooth and steady. Jeffers didn't answer right away, just scanned him with that look, like he was already deciding the ending before hearing the story. Claimed the car matched one reported stolen from a gas station nearby. Raymond blinked, more puzzled than panicked. "I've just stopped for a break. I can show you my registration." But Jeffers wasn't having it. He stepped back, hand on his holster, voice clipped. "Step out of the vehicle now." Raymond didn't argue. He wasn't about to create a scene by the side of the road. He opened the door slowly, stepping out with quiet dignity. He was a tall man, calm but firm. Officer Riek showed up just as Jeffers had him at the rear of the vehicle, hands in the air. Raymond asked again, steady but firm, "I'd like to know what I'm being accused of. I haven't done anything wrong." Didn't matter. Jeffers dug around in his car without permission. Raymond took a step forward, clearly said, "I do not consent to a search." And that was it. That one line was enough for Jeffers to twist his arm back, slap on the cuffs, and say it was obstruction. Riek helped without a word. Some travelers nearby had started watching. A college student pulled out her phone. A retired vet muttered, "That man doesn't look like he stole anything." But the officers were locked in, moving Raymond like he was some threat. Still, he kept his head high, quiet, composed, not angry. YET.AT the precinct near Jackson. He sat in a plastic chair, red marks around his wrists. No cuffs now, but no phone call either. 2 hours passed, requests ignored. Nobody really looked at his ID. Nobody seemed to care. His calm made them suspicious, like quiet meant guilty. Jeffers walked past him over and over, sneering. Riek stayed quiet, visibly uneasy. Finally, Sergeant Pamela Yates walked in, mid-50s, sharp eyes, no-nonsense energy. "How long's he been here?" she asked. When someone said, "Almost 2 hours, obstruction," she frowned. She walked up to Raymond. "Have you been advised of your rights?" He nodded. "But I haven't been allowed to call my office." She looked at him again, this time really looked. "What's your name?" "Raymond Carter," he said. "And I strongly suggest you verify that name." Jeffers laughed behind her. "He's been playing that important man act all morning." Yates shot him a look, then walked to a terminal, typed in the name, and froze. Because right there on the screen, Honorable Raymond L. Carter, Presiding Judge, 14th District Court, State of Michigan. Photo matched. Background spotless. She stood up fast, walked across the floor with her boots tapping sharp, entered the holding room. "You said you had a meeting in Lansing?" "Yes," Raymond said, "at noon. Justice Reform Roundtable with the governor." "And you are Judge Raymond Carter?" He nodded once. "That's correct." Yates didn't waste time. "Your Honor, I apologize. This should never have happened." Behind her, Jeffers stiffened. "Wait, what do you mean, Your Honor?" She turned to him, cool as ice. "You arrested a sitting state judge without probable cause. You searched his vehicle illegally. You denied his right to legal counsel. This is serious." Jeffers paled. Riek looked like she'd been punched. Yates turned back to Raymond. "Would you like to contact the governor's office now, sir, or have someone drive you?" Raymond gave a tired smile. "Yes, I would. Thank you, Sergeant." That video from the rest stop? It went viral by evening. Just 27 seconds long. Judge Carter in cuffs, calm, asking what he did wrong. A student's voice in the background. "This is insane. He didn't do anything." It tore through TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. Hashtags lit up. Hashtag Justice for Carter. Hashtag Rest Stop Profiling. By midnight, it had 2 million views. Local news ran it, then national outlets. His judicial profile flashed side by side with the arrest footage. Black man in a suit, treated like a criminal for taking a break. Public outcry exploded. Civil rights leaders, attorneys, even politicians weighed in. The governor's office confirmed Carter was on the roundtable guest list. A brief but firm statement followed. We are reviewing the incident. Justice must extend to all. The next morning, outside room 312 at the state capitol, cameras lined the hallway. When Carter entered at exactly 10 a.m., everyone stood, not out of protocol, but respect. He sat at the head of the table, looked the governor in the eye, and said, "Thank you, Governor. I believe the timing speaks for itself." He asked to speak before the agenda. "Yesterday, I was detained without cause. No warrant. No valid reason. Just suspicion, based not on my actions, but on my appearance." His voice was firm, controlled. "This isn't just about me. I'm not the first, and won't be the last, unless something changes." The tone of the meeting shifted. It wasn't about training guidelines anymore. This was real, emotional, urgent. When the floor opened for action, an emergency hearing was called. Not next week, same day, and Carter was asked to preside. At first, he hesitated, wary of conflict of interest. But with the legal green light, he agreed. That afternoon, Officers Jeffers and Riek sat across from a review panel. No swagger now. Jeffers looked pale. Riek kept her eyes low. Raymond opened the session. "We are here to examine conduct, not to shame, but to seek truth." The evidence, videos, body cam, witness statements, made things clear. Riek admitted she never checked his ID. Jeffers tried to justify it all with procedure, but his story crumbled fast. When asked why he denied the phone call, he had no answer that held. Raymond stayed poised, but there was steel in his tone. No theatrics, just clarity. This ended with a unanimous decision. Both officers had violated protocol, acted with bias, and failed to protect basic civil rights. Recommended. Immediate suspension without pay pending a deeper probe. That evening, the governor stood beside Carter at a press conference. This wasn't about punishment, he said. It was about responsibility. New legislation followed. Mandatory bias training, legal rights instruction, oversight committees. Real change, not lip service. Raymond spoke briefly. "This happened to me with a camera rolling and a title behind my name. But most don't have that. Most suffer in silence. This isn't just my story, it's a mirror." 3 months later, he stood outside the Michigan Law Enforcement Training Academy. Spring breeze, flags snapping overhead. Before him, 52 cadets stood in crisp uniforms. The first class trained under the new bias and accountability reforms. Raymond had turned down countless speaking gigs. But this one felt different. He stepped to the mic and said, "3 months ago, I stood on the other side of that badge, treated not as a judge, not even as a man, but as a threat. That moment could have made me bitter, but it made me more committed, not to punishment, but to purpose." He looked at each recruit. "You're here to enforce the law? Yes, but more than that, you're here to protect dignity. Every person you see is someone's mother, brother, neighbor, friend. Never forget that." A young black cadet lingered after the ceremony. "Thank you, sir," he said softly. Raymond gave a small nod. "Go serve with honor." As the sun dipped behind the trees, Raymond lingered on the steps, not thinking about the cuffs, the cold bench, the judgment. He was thinking about what comes next. Because justice doesn't always roar. It sometimes begins in stillness. One moment, one decision, one step. Now let me ask you, was this justice served? Or just a rare exception in a system that still resists change? Drop your thoughts below, and if this story moved you, make sure you're subscribed, because stories like this need to be heard, and heroes like Raymond Carter deserve to be remembered.